it's Aaliyah from the Song of the Winds. I hope you're doing really well. I recently wrote an ebook and it wasn't something that I intended to design myself, but a number of things happened and the work that I had actually paid for with a designer just fell through and we were not seeing eye to eye on design at all. So in the end it was just easier to let them keep the money, chalk it up to a good lesson, and then learn how to do some basic ebook editing myself, and that's what I did. Lesson 1. You always need more time than you think you need, and you need to expect delays, because something will likely happen in your life and something will likely happen in their life, and that will push the project back. So try not to be too inflexible about your expected days of the project being ready, because it just may not go to plan. Lesson 2. When you hire someone, check to make sure you're both on the same page. Check to make sure that what you mean is this, they also understand as being that, because it's very difficult if you start off with a miscommunication about something as fundamental as design. Lesson 3. Be really upfront about your expectations. Spend a little bit of time initially submitting some examples of work, asking lots of questions, and just really investing that time yourself initially to make sure that you're going to be satisfied with what work you receive in return. Over communicate your expectations. That way, if everything is clear and documented, if there's any problems along the line, you can go back and you can actually show where that has been agreed to and where that has been documented. So if there's an issue where that person might be wanting extra payment for something that was agreed to prior to the job starting, you've then got some proof that will actually know that's part of the job scope. Lesson 4. Always be professional. If the entire project goes south, learn from it and just be aware that you usually pay for what you get. Now, that's not to say that you need to spend thousands of dollars on design. Many of us don't have the capacity to spend that much money on design. But if something seems too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Lesson 5. If you can do it yourself, it's worth doing it yourself, because you'll have an extra skill that you can use and you can improve on over time. Canva is a really great platform for designers that aren't designers, and that's me. I'm not a designer. Just be aware the bigger your document gets, or the bigger your file gets, whatever it is that you're working on, unless you've got a pretty beefy computer, it's going to get really slow. So set yourself up right, actually try and do this work at the right time of day when you're in a good headspace and a good frame of mind. It's not the kind of thing to tackle just before bed. It'll just end up annoying you. Lesson 6. When you do your editing, edit to clarify, don't edit to dilute. So what I mean by that is it's great to edit so that your document is more concise, so that you're actually using better word economy, and the reader's going to end up with a really concise, easy to read document that's very easy to understand. You don't want to edit and cut out important content just for the sake of keeping the document small. Lesson 7. Be your biggest critic, but balance that with done is better than perfect. So you'll probably never be able to achieve the same kind of look and feel that a designer who went to university for 4 years is able to knock out on Photoshop. So don't try and hold yourself to the same standards, because you'll probably be disappointed. It's much better to look at what you have created and think, if I was actually reading this, if I was the customer, do I think it's on brand? Do I think it's relevant? Do I think that I'm actually learning something from reading this document? Do I feel like I want to learn more about the brand? That's the kind of thing you should be going for. It should actually communicate your brand story at the very basics level. It should have a color scheme and a font choice which actually relates to the kind of information that you're putting out there. And don't be afraid to research. There are so many people that have created some really, really awesome blogs. I've just Googled them, honestly. I couldn't even link them for you. It's just stuff that I found over time when I was searching for the answers to various problems I was facing. But people put out incredible content about how to use platforms like Canva and PicMonkey. Font pairings that work really well together. Color schemes that are really complementary. That's another thing to consider with your branding, is to make sure that your font and your colors look nice. And just take it slowly. After all, at the end of the day, if you're happy with the work that you have done, chances are it's really, really good work and you should be proud of it. Lesson 8. The sense of accomplishment is intoxicating. When you have done something that you honestly didn't think you could do and you've sort of been pushed into it because something else just didn't go right and you're just learning lesson after lesson after lesson, when you actually do something on your own and you're happy with it, it's a very, very good feeling. So always try and chase that feeling. Always try and make yourself proud of yourself. You're often your biggest critic, and if you can make yourself feel happy and proud, then you have done a good job. And my final piece of advice, I'm not going to put a number on it. I think this is advice that we could just all use in our life. Never stop looking for opportunities to learn. Never stop looking for opportunities to learn. Try and look for the lesson in a bad situation. If something doesn't go to plan, instead of just going, oh well, that's it, it'll never happen, I tried and it failed. Don't let yourself get into that headspace. You absolutely can do it. There is always a way. There is always a way. Well, I thank you for watching. You take care, and I will see you again real soon. Okay, bye.